Now you would think that for every word in English, there would be a version of that same word in every other language. After all, we have a word for cat, Spanish has a word for cat, Turkish has a word for cat, and so on and so on. But this isn't always true, even for very simple words. Say you took an American and a Russian. Now, if you showed the American these two colors and asked her if they were actually just different shades of the same color, she'd say no, they're different. One is green and one is yellow. And if you asked the Russian, he'd agree. One is zelyony, the Russian word for green, and one is zhelty, yellow. But now, say you showed them these two, the American would say yes, they're both blue. But the Russian would say no, they're different. Because Russian has two words that we would translate as blue. Sini, for dark blue, and goloboy, meaning light blue. In Russian, the sky and the ocean are not the same color, even though they are to speakers of most other languages. This sort of difference in color vocabulary is actually pretty common. In Hungarian, for instance, there are two reds, vörös for dark red and piros for light red. And in Vietnamese, the word sang can mean green or blue. So, if they need to differentiate between the two, they'd have to say sang like the ocean for blue or sang like a leaf for green. But colors aren't the only case where words don't match up between different languages. Consider Hindi, spoken in India, or Urdu, spoken next door in Pakistan. Here we find the word kal, written like this in Hindi and like this in Urdu. Strange as it may seem, kal means both yesterday and tomorrow. Both days are called kal. Really, it just means one day removed from today. Now, this may seem insanely confusing, but really it works out just fine for Hindi and Urdu speakers. If they want to say kal to mean yesterday, they just say, it was kal. And for tomorrow, it will be kal. Of course, if someone asks, when's your birthday, and you just say kal with nothing else, then that would sort of be a non-answer. Now, there are many other cases of this sort of thing. For instance, in Cantonese, there are two expressions for thank you, depending on whether you're thanking someone for an item or for a service. The Navajo language, meanwhile, has a very complicated verb system that results in dozens of words for throw, depending on what you're throwing and how you throw it, as well as dozens of words for give and get, and so on. And there are yet more examples of special vocabularies, but you get the idea.